We've done a few ideations on this podcast and behind the scenes. We've done a lot of planning and strategizing for what we can do with the ground up podcast brand, with the network that we're building off the back of it, with the event stuff. I think just for the listeners' benefit, obviously we know what things we could do, but we're all just really busy. Like it just there's so much that takes priority and takes precedence that really we just need to find the right time. The ski trip's going to be a good moment for us to speak about things in more detail. I and I'm sure all the boys get approached by quite a lot of people in the space that they want more from the ground up network. They want something that's even more supporting and that does it even more than what we're currently doing. And we want to offer that. We want to be able to do that, but it's all time, and time is the scarcest asset. So, but we will deliver on it. It's just might take a little bit longer than we think. But what are you saying, Jack?
I think it's a good opportunity to say to anyone listening to this podcast, whether you just listen to a few episodes or all of our episodes, or you're already part of the network, please do like DM us, comment, say what you want more from the ground up. So we already have basically in place that we come on this every week without fail. And we've got some more speakers lined up for us to have chats with third party people that bring different perspective and value, like Piers from last week, which I felt was actually an amazing interview. I kind of could tell that he's not front of the limelight, entrepreneurs like us that speak to people week in, week out, but he's got a really admirationable story. So is it more speakers that you'd like to see on the podcast? Would you like to see us actually leave our houses and go and do like site tours or videos on our podcast channel? Would you like to see what topics would you like to see? What specific topics interest you to hear more about? We've obviously, the Bitcoin podcast has done really well. The HMO special has done really well. We probably haven't done a HMO special for about a year. And then beyond the podcast, we have the network, which is on School. So it's a platform where we've basically got end to end roughly what you will need as a resource to encounter most problems in a business. And then we've got over 60 members in the Ground Up Network, which come on every week, 1 hour. We call it the War Room, ask questions, solve problems, enjoy chatting to each other. And we've got various events throughout the year. So we did go-karting last year. We've got the ski trip coming up tomorrow. And the big live event that we ran in Moore Street in London. I think we're going to hit that hard this year. Next Jan, the live event. But I'd love to hear from our audience what you guys want to see and hear and do and, be part of. We're open to ideas, aren't we, boys? I think where Rye says it's just we're all busy, I feel like this kind of like side hustle comes in ebbs and flows. Like we all strategize, get our brains together, come up with a bit of an idea, but we can't do that without the, asking what the people want. Maybe Chandy could overroll a. Are you not entertained by the Gladiator at this point? Like, what do you guys want? And we will deliver.
Yeah, I think the key for us is we've got this four heads here that are, we've got a lot of experience. We're doing a lot of probably more than most people are in our sector, and we want to be able to distill as much value as possible. That's all we want to do is just offer as much value as we can, because there's an inherent feedback loop of more value we offer, more people that will want to engage with us, and the more people want to engage with us, the more we can do with that energy. So we want to create a positive feedback loop. It does take time and thought and to think and plan the podcast and to plan events and to do that kind of stuff. So it's got to be worth it, because there's so much in the day jobs in our own businesses that we also need to focus on. So I think there is a big part of a community engagement side where if people want stuff, if you want to have a support network of four people like us, to be able to do things, then there's got to be an engagement back and forward. Like when I started out in property, all I wanted was to get engaged by people who had more experience than me. And that's what I fought to do for about a year before I really took any serious action. I just wanted to speak to people, get engaged, understand what people were doing, blah 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 blah. And if that's you right now, you got to do that. You got to, and we're literally there offering. We're happy to do this, but we need the engagement to do it. And the upside of having a conversation with people who are more experienced than you could be the difference of changing your life or changing your trajectory of your business, or watching out for a key risk or a key mistake you might make. And if that means you're paying £100 to join a network, then now that's amazing, because you used to there's so many people in the market charge 12 grand, 15 grand, and we don't want to be those people. We want to be able to give away a lot of value at a low ticket price, but also we may look to incubate people who are performing at a high level for a higher ticket price, but that's worth it for the disproportionate impact to their business, which is something that Dorian, I know, is keen on with the ground up network, is to build a round table of people who are already delivering and operating at scale, and bring them into a room where those minds together can have a disproportionate impact with one another as an aggregate sum. And what do you think about that, D, in terms of being able to put together that sort of grouping?
Well, yeah, I mean, the short answer is yeah, it'd be we talked about this before, it'd be valuable. But I don't think, as you said, there's lots of ideas and lots of things we can do. We're all obviously very busy, which is good as well, because this is the thing. It's you can be around people who uh kind of aren't busy doing it, but they like to talk a lot and teach you a lot. Or you can be around those that are very busy because they genuinely their focus is on the doing it, but the time together is obviously smaller but more intense. All I would say is that it would suit more people who are genuine doers. Do you know if that makes sense? You would need like I'll give you an example. I was speaking to somebody yesterday who's joined a mastermind and paid 10 grand a year, and they're being trained by professional trainers, all that sort of stuff. Trainers aren't really doing any deals themselves. They're giving them lots of time, lots of advice, lots of conversation. Um, or would you prefer to be? Would you prefer to be in a group with people who are genuinely doing stuff? So like they have team around and they have people to also lean on. And I suppose what I'm trying to get at is that it's you can't have everything, can you? You can't have somebody that's really doing it as well and them to have all the time in the world. Doesn't work like that. So we kind of it would suit more people who are independent, who are goers, who want to push, who don't need like a mega hand holding and a clarification of everything. You've just got to move, move fast, do things.
I think that's where the network comes into play, because there's pre-recorded videos on there, so it's a very efficient way of allocating our time to an indefinite amount of people. But then we have more time for the Q&A sections that we do. And I completely agree with you, Dorian.